Welcome back, guys. We've got a new review for you today. We got the BetaFPV X-Night. This is the 4-inch version, not to be confused with the 6S version, the 5-inch, the new one that just came out. We're going to take a look at the specs of this one, and we're going to give it a flight, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on it. All right, so it's got the BetaFPV 20 amp whoop board in there. I know a lot of people were having problems there with the 12 amp in the Twig XL 3-inch, but they've got the 20 amp here, so I believe this is going to hold up better. I know it's kind of like potluck with the BetaFPV boards, but I haven't had one failing me yet. We've got these bi-blade HQ props. I'm going to get some Gem Fan tri-blades or some HQ tri-blades, but these flew pretty well, pretty efficient. The quad's really quick. So, I mean, I was impressed. Bi-blades are always going to be looser than tri-blades, but I mean, I didn't see it posing any issues. Now, this is the Crossfire version. It's not an Immortal T. It's got this just a regular Crossfire antenna. It's mounted in this TPU, and then the antenna tubes there. Got a pretty nice thick strap. It's got this, I don't know what this is, like a foam pad. So when you put the battery, mount the battery, it sits flat. So that's nice for launches. It's got the Caddx Rotel. I believe this is the 2.1 version, Starlight. If you're familiar with my channel, I use the Rotel in several builds and bonded flies, and it's a great camera. I mean, for analog, it's pretty much top of the line. They got a right-hand circular polarized antenna connected to the VTX. It does smart audio. It's 25 milliwatt, 200 milliwatt. I think it's the AIO1 or A01, I'm sorry, VTX. This is the Crossfire version. Like I said, it's got a Crossfire Nano receiver. For me, it wasn't in bind mode when I plugged the first LiPo in, so I had to remove the canopy. There's two 1.5 mil M2 screws. And just those two screws holding the canopy, and then you can just hit the bind button. If you've ever bound anything with Crossfire, I'll put a link to the video. I've got a setup video there for you. It's very simple, and it'll just ask you to update the RX after you bind it. This one's shipped with an XT60 connector. All the LiPos that I have in this size range, running a Tattoo 4S850. And they're all XT30s. I mean, with this amount of power, I don't see it being a bottleneck. Running XT30, I believe it's like 2 or 3 grams lighter. I'll actually post the weight before and after. Let's see what else. Yeah, it's I believe the arms. I believe they're going to be 4 millimeters thick. We'll get a quick measurement out on that one for you. They're sandwiched in. It's not a unibody bottom plate. The arms are removable. So we'll see how thick these arms are. That's definitely not 6 millimeters. Yeah, 4 millimeter thick arms. It's got the BetaFPV 1505, 3600 kV. It's good for 4S. I mean, I'm sure you could run it on 3S. I don't see any need to run it on 3S. I was getting well over my maiden flight. I was getting well over 7 minutes. I think I only flew down to 3.6, but there is some voltage sag. So definitely would have flown it probably another 30 seconds to a minute longer. In the second flight footage, you'll see I was a little bit more aggressive. I still got well over 5 minutes. It has so much power, and the power to weight ratio is so incredible that you don't you're hardly ever at full throttle, because it just, on punch outs it just skyrockets. I mean, it's crazy how powerful it is. So we'll see about the long-term reliability on this one, but it's very impressive. One of the reasons why I wanted to go with this, number one, it was on Race Day Quads. They had a clearance sale recently. 4-inch is one of the classes. Generally I use or fly micros, and up to 5-inch quads. I don't have any 6 or 7-inch long range quads, but it's pretty much the one size category that I don't have. I have some 65 millimeter, 75 millimeter whoops, 2.5-inch quads, 3-inch quads, and like I said, the mini quads at the 5-inch. This is my first 4-inch quad. It's kind of the stepchild of all the quadcopters class, because it's not that much smaller footprint than a 5-inch, but 5-inch, the performance is generally is going to be, you can fit more in a 5-inch, but now with these lighter weight micro components, I mean, you can definitely push the limits there on a lightweight build. But yeah, it's my first 4-inch quad. It's my first 4-inch quad, but first impressions, definitely enjoying it. And for the price, like I said, I got it on clearance. I believe it was before tax. It was like $129. So the retail on these with the Crossfire is right at $200 or over $200. So let's take a look at the flight footage, and we'll give it a rip, see what you think. right, let's get away for you guys. All right, so this looks like it's under the 130 gram mark, 129 grams, just over. We got a Tattoo 850 4S, the next 230. Looks like we're coming in at right at 220, just over 221 grams. So I know a lot of people are conscious of the 250 gram weight limit. So this is a 4S quad that's definitely underneath that limit. All right, let's take a look and see how it's set up in Betaflight. All right, it is running props out, so if you don't want to run props in, just double check that. You don't want any spin outs take off. Arming angle was already set to 180 degrees, so that's good. It's a serial based crossfire receiver. Air mode was permanently enabled there by default, so that's a good thing. I just disabled some of these beeper configuration tabs because I just don't need it beeping for everything. Take a look at the Pids. These are the default factory Pids that it ships with. I did update my rates and input my rates. I think the stock rates were the stock Betaflight rates, so they're about 600 degrees per second, I believe. Take a look at the receiver tab. I did have to change the channel map. I don't remember what it was, but I had to change to AETR, and RSSI was already set up too. Our link quality was set to aux 8, so that was correct. Did move around some OSD elements or remove them, like kind of how I like to set mine up. Disabled the crosshairs. Looks like the Betaflight version is going to be 4.1.1. All right, final thoughts, guys. The quad definitely impressed me. I would say that it's not for beginners. Maybe if you wanted to tame it down, you could run it on 3S. Even then, it's got so much power compared to the weight. It can get away from you pretty quickly there. Might want to start out with something a little bit less aggressive, like a Tiny Hawk Freestyle or Freestyle 2. Those are good, safe quads that can easily fly in wind, and you can do full acro freestyle, but it's also quiet. It's not going to be bothering anybody. I mean, not that this one was loud, but you know, it's definitely not for beginners. As far as the reliability goes, I can't say I've just picked up the quad, got back from vacation, and I've only flown a few packs through it, but what I've seen, I like. I don't know about the durability with the arms. They are replaceable, but the quad is so light. So unless you're flying over concrete, which I don't really fly over concrete, you know, but I mean, who's to say I've broken arms on grass? So just kind of depends on the impact, the point, what takes the damage. So, but definitely check out some of my other videos. I'll post a link there to a playlist. You can get started there. Appreciate any support. You can help me out by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing to the channel if you're not already. I try to do my best I can to contribute back to the community, but either via Facebook or, you know, I try to respond to all the comments that I can. We're a growing channel. I do appreciate your support. You can follow me on Instagram to get the latest inside. It's Titans, plural, FPV on Instagram. And take a look. I'll probably add a TikTok. That's what the kids are doing these days. But anyway, appreciate your time. You guys have a good one, and stay safe for me.